You're listening to Thrive Talkin, the Making Men Great Again podcast, the only podcast dedicated to bringing men the motivation, content, and community to thrive in each and every aspect of life and achieve greatness. One episode at a time, we aim to restore accountability, respect, decency, good values, good morals, strength, honesty, and integrity to men's lives. Are you ready to become the man you were born to be? If the answer is yes, join our brotherhood and become brethren today. I'm your host, Tommy, and as always, I'm joined by my faithful companion, noble steed, loyal compadre, close friend, brother, and co-host, the original guru of Garswood and the monster of Marris Bridge. Samuel, how are you doing today, brother?
Mate, it's another absolutely rousing introduction. It gets me every single time, and I love it, and it keeps getting better. So keep them going. It's when you say Thrive Talk, welcome to Thrive Talking at the beginning. It just cracks me up.
Well,
it's seeing your face. It's seeing your face more than anything. what makes me laugh?
What does my facial expression tell you, though? Is it one of excitement? Or...
Yeah, it is. It's one of excitement, and like you just can't wait, and I love it. That's what we're here for.
Well, we aim to keep improving, Sam, and we said last week that we're gonna spice it up a little bit. So hopefully that's added a little bit more flavour for you.
What spices do you think we're adding? Bit of cayenne,
bit of paprika there, I think.
Yeah.
But there's more to come.
Yeah.
We'll increase the heat and the intensity as each episode comes.
We should do, because we're not amateurs anymore to this game. I mean, this is the 9th episode, but
are we semi-pro now?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, we're at that like that what is it for 5th division in the football league.
We're no longer novices.
No, we're doing all right. But yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. We've had a week off, haven't we?
We have.
Due to this, that, and the other. Just our schedules don't always align, and that's all right, because it means we're doing other things, thriving, hopefully thriving.
Yeah.
Hope you're thriving, Tommy. But yeah, so we're back, full of beans, ready to talk a load of stuff.
It feels good to be back, Sam. And I mean this sincerely. I have missed it. I do look forward to it each week. Just having a catch up, having a good old chinwag, and putting the world to rights, and inviting other men, friends, family, strangers to join us on this journey.
Yeah, definitely. It is like you. I enjoy it just as much. It's just we're both working men. We've both got lives outside of this, and like I've said before, we're not getting paid for this. We're not, we're not getting any massive sponsorship money or anything like that. I mean, we do have the sponsor, but we know about that. Yeah. So, we're doing it for fun, and sometimes life gets in the way, and it is what it is. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get into it again today, won't we? As we do.
We certainly will, mate. Now, I thought that it would only be right, given recent events in the world, and a couple, there's been a few pieces of sad news over the past week or so. So I thought it'd only be right to start this episode, particularly for all the Hulkamaniacs listening in, just to pay our respects to the great Hulk Hogan, absolute legend. Sam, I know you was a big fan of his, as well as I. So rest in peace to the Hulk.
Yeah, honestly, I really wasn't, and I know I'm one of them who's kind of jumping on it, giving it the RIP on social media, and I did, but genuinely, Hulk Hogan was a serious childhood hero of mine. Watching him, obviously he was a person I'm probably never going to meet, because he's such a big star over in America, but the way he was, and we say about you you say every time on this podcast, have you said your prayers, have you took your vitamins? And that's exactly what he started. And yeah, I'm a big fan, and I'm genuine loss to the world.
It's a very, very sad loss. Like you say, big role model for a lot of men out there. And such a great personality and character as well. And I've got fond memories of, a lot of it before my time, but we still had the videos and the different tapes of Hulk and WrestleMania and him fighting the Iron Sheik, and just great moments like that. In watching that as a little boy, it inspired me to want to be big and strong. And
yeah.
I have nothing but good words to say about the Hulkster, really. So yeah, we're paying our respects this week.
That's it, really. For me, he was just a role model. Even though he was someone just on the telly wrestling, and wrestling is seen as this, it's fake, but it's fake because it's a storyline. But the injuries and the moves that they do, everything's so real. But Hulk Hogan as a man, he was a big guy, he was a big character, lots of very charismatic, and it was like you said there. A lot of people sort of looked at Hulk and they was like, I want to be big and strong like that.
Yeah.
I want to grow and do something good in the world, and I think he did. I really do.
I totally agree. So I mean, whilst he was obviously a character and it was a show to a certain extent, that a very good message that he was putting across to the young, particularly the young boys watching, and setting a good example and saying all the right things.
Yeah.
So it's very sad news indeed, and gone too soon at 71. Was it? It's no
71. Age. Yeah. And another mention, Tommy, the day before, Ozzy Osbourne.
Absolutely.
Two completely different people, but very inspiring men in their own right. Specifically, Ozzy. I'm a bit of a fan. I can't say I'm massively into Black Sabbath or Ozzy, but it was for me and you. We're both into musicians. You can't look away from his achievements and him being an inspiration himself, just in music.
Yeah, I thought about Ozzy earlier actually, and as we are both big fans of music and rock and roll, and he's obviously been such a big influence on a lot of musicians. It's a strange one with Ozzy because whilst there's no doubt in a great songwriter, fantastic frontman and vocalist, but probably contradicts a little bit of what we're trying to say with the lifestyle that he led. But we're not here to call that into question. We're here to honour all men and celebrate their achievements. And like you said, Sam, another big loss really for the world and the world of music.
I'll tell you what, though, as crazy as his lifestyle was with the literal sex, drugs, and rock and roll, he was an incredible family man, as far as I'm aware. Like, the Osbournes everyone's familiar with them. We're around the world, and he loved his kids, he loved his grandkids, he loved his wife Sharon more than anything. As far as I'm aware, you know what I mean. That I don't know the ins and outs of it, but
I can only sort of reiterate that, Sam, because from what I've seen myself and things that I've heard and read, that he genuinely came across as quite a nice guy. And So I think that'll lead us on nicely, Sam, to me asking you, and I'll continue to do this in his honour. Have you been saying your prayers, taking your vitamins, and doing your training?
I have, mate. Yeah, I have. Less so the prayers, but prayers in different ways, like I always say every week. More gratitude than anything. Definitely the vitamins and training.
Yeah,
that never stops.
I'm pleased to hear it, my friend. Yeah, I'm pleased to hear it. And most importantly, are you thriving?
Well, this is the question every week, isn't it? Am I thriving?
It's become a bit of a catchphrase now, Sam. I often get messages from people listening saying, "Are you thriving?"
Hey, that's good. At least
There we go.
it is catching on, which is the main thing.
There we go.
Do you know what? I say that a lot now in daily life. Just in passing conversations with people and stuff in work that I don't see very often. The word thrive always seems to come out instead of something else like are you happy or anything. It's more, are you thriving? You know what I mean? It is coming, so it is there in the back of my mind, but I guess it will be for us because we're doing the actual podcast. But if it's catching on with other people,
it is.
We're doing well. But as for me, thriving currently, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm at my peak in life, but I'm trying to stay consistent as I can with regards to diet and connecting with people. The training's consistent. It always has been. It always will be. But yeah, what about you?
Yeah, as always, Sam, thriving in certain aspects, but room for improvement in others. But in general, I'm feeling good. Really excited to be back recording another episode, and I can't complain, to be honest. Again, it's been a busy, stressful week. Not enough time in the day, quite often to do everything that I need to do, whether that's chores at home, family commitments, spending time strengthening those connections with loved ones, taking the time myself to contemplate and to think, all of my responsibilities that come with work. It's just been a really busy time, but I'm enjoying it. I'm happy. Diet's good, and I've been challenging myself with some more DIY projects, which I'll touch on later on, Sam. But yeah, can't complain. Am I thriving? The answer's got to be yes.
That's good. That's good, because a lot of people in the world can't really say that, can they? When I say it's up and down, when I do really think about it, and if someone said to me, "Have you got any problems in your life? Have you got any troughs or anything like that?" I haven't really. I can't really say that anything's bothering me. I'm healthy, fit.
Yeah.
I've got a roof over my head. I can eat a good meal every day, and I can train. There's certain things missing that'll take time, but what can you do? Life isn't perfect.
You should probably stipulate there, Sam, that to be thriving or to answer yes to that question, it doesn't mean that you have to have absolutely everything figured out and everything has to be going well. If that was the case, then pretty much no one alive could answer yes, because we've all got stuff going on. We've all got room for improvement. We're all facing different challenges and adversity, and sometimes things just don't go the way that we planned. But it doesn't mean that you can't thrive in other ways. So that's what I would say to anyone who's listening in, who's sort of wondering about that.
Yeah,
and all us as well.
Yeah, definitely, because people who I've spoke to about who've listened to the past few episodes, I think they kind of expect me to be this perfect, like well-rounded, perfectly thriving human, because we say what we think everyone should do, and I say to them, like, I'm not. Like, I do, like specifically with diet and food, like I do go off course, quite a bit. I do give in to temptations of bad food. It's not all the time. I mean, I'd say 80% of the time I'm eating great, but I will eat some biscuits, as you know, the digestive incident, which is well documented.
It is.
There's been word about that, hasn't there, with friends of the podcast.
There certainly has. It's all good fun though. But no, you're right there, Sam. And we've never claimed to be the finished article. We've never claimed to be saying any of this from a position of authority. This podcast, this community, this movement, it's as much for us to benefit from and to learn from and to grow off the back of and to provide motivation and encouragement to each other as it is for anyone who's listening in.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be any clearer on that. That is the whole reason why we started this, to help each other, encourage each other, and just record those conversations that we were having with each other anyway, but just have a little bit more structure to them and just share them with a wider community, rather than just limiting it. I can't get my words out. I'm getting tongue-tied again. Limiting it to you and me, because other people can benefit from it, and it's, the more the merrier.
Yeah. Good. We'll keep going. We'll keep
Certainly
going
will.
to and unleash our full potential at some point.
This train's going to keep on rolling, brother.
Absolutely.
Just taking a break from the episode for a moment there, as we are proud to announce that once again, this episode is brought to you by our brothers at Honourbound. Honourbound is a brand new clothing brand, homegrown in Lancashire, England, which combines style, elegance, and patriotism beautifully to offer a range of high-quality garments and designs that celebrate Britain's strength, class, and might. As I record this advert, I'm sat wearing my Honourbound Writer t-shirt in the sporting green, and it's absolutely beautiful. If you haven't checked them out already, head to Honourbound, so that's honour-bound.co.uk/discount/Thrive Talkin, or follow the link in the bio to redeem your exclusive 15% discount, and that's for the brethren, that's for the listeners of Thrive Talkin podcast, with a further 5% being donated to charities supporting UK military veterans. How great is that? Thrive Talkin, Making Men Great Again podcast is all about supporting like-minded men on our journey together towards achieving greatness. So support the podcast today by treating yourself to some Honourbound merchandise. You will not regret it. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, mate. First order of business today. The Brethren Bulletin. Now, you normally introduce this, so I'm you enjoy a good introduction, but what
Got to keep you on your toes, Sam.
I know, mate. I know. It's all part of it, isn't it? We've got to challenge each other.
Keep it interesting. You introduced it last week, to be fair.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I can't remember. So yeah,
Been too long.
Feedback, mate. What have you had any recent feedback? I mean, I know we've had a week off, but we can go from the last episode, can't we?
I've had quite a lot of dialogue with people actually, which is, again, it's been really encouraging. And we get the same we get the same people who tend to get in touch each and every week, and then we get some new people coming in via the mailbox, and providing a little bit of feedback, and it's brilliant to hear from anyone. So one thing I will say is, I think the last episode, Contemplate, really got people thinking.
Literally, I hope so.
No pun intended, but it really did. I got some really interesting feedback, and I think one thing that stuck with someone in particular, and I can only applaud their honesty, is it's that question that we asked, that if you lay in bed at the end of a day, ask yourself, if that day was your last and you weren't to wake up in the morning, would you be satisfied with how you'd lived your life, what you'd done in that day? And and he told me that if he was being completely honest, he would say no almost every day. And it's made him think about what he needs to do differently. And that was the key takeaway for me for that episode. You know, it incorporated so much about slowing down, thinking without distraction, just having that time. It incorporated meditation, prayer. You know, it was up to it was sort of subject to interpretation, really, for everyone who was listening in. But I think that was the key takeaway. Think at the end of each day, if that day was your last, would you be satisfied with how you'd lived it? And it obviously resonated with this person. It actually made them think about it and consider it. So that's great. And we've always said the first sort of steps to improving into thriving and achieving greatness is to have that self-awareness and that recognition.
Yes, definitely.
Another thing I've had is someone saying that they're not thriving at the minute. They're stuck in a bit of a rut, but they're working to sort of snap themselves out of it. And then the following day, I got a message. It was a photo, actually, of them getting some sunlight, getting grounded.
Yeah.
Cold showers had recommenced, which was really encouraging. And then the final thing that I'd say, Sam, really, which is arguably most encouraging, is I've had several people get in touch asking where the hell's the latest episode, because it usually drops on a Sunday, and there hasn't been one, and people genuinely seemed a little bit aggrieved by the fact that there was no episode that dropped. And you know, as sorry as I am to let the listeners down, I think that's really encouraging that people actually care and they look forward to the episode dropping each week. But I can only sort of reiterate what you said earlier, Sam. We don't do this full time. We don't get paid to do this. We're two ordinary working men. We've got family commitments. We're homeowners. We've got jobs. Sometimes our schedules conflict. So sadly last week we just didn't have the time to fit an episode in and do it the justice that we wanted to. But yeah, that's what's come across my desk. What about yours?
Do you know what? I had a really good one off someone who I spoke to, and there was a mental health nurse, actually,
Right.
and
Male or female?
Female.
So we're reaching.
So there you go. See, you didn't think that, did you?
We're reaching the fairer sex as well, then, are we?
Well, that's what I was also hoping for as well, mate. With this, you know, when I tell people about the podcast, I do say it's making men great again, but it is about humanity as well, isn't it? Because we're all humans, and you can put these and anyone can do what we're saying. It's not just for men, but
yeah,
you know, we do want to make men better in general.
Yeah, I think anyone can learn from what we're saying, Sam, and implement certain aspects of it into their lives. And we've always said, like, the women, every woman has a man in their life, whether that's a father, a brother, a friend, a partner, an husband, a son. So hopefully, by listening in, they can get some encouragement and inspiration and understanding for the men in their lives as well. So go on. Sorry, Sam.
No, it's all right. It was just that they were listening to the podcast. I mean, listen to all the episodes, to be honest. So there wasn't anything that's specific on one episode. But they said that they visit people with like severe mental issues, and they was actually recommending that to listen to our podcast to these people, specifically men, to just listen and see what they think, because they thought we were doing, you know, sort of the things we were saying, the advice we were giving, although it's simple, and I keep saying we're preaching common sense. They thought it would benefit people just to give it a listen, and I thought, how good is that? that we can reach that level of to get men who are really in a bad mental state, to get them to listen and hopefully thrive. So that was really nice. I enjoyed that.
That's absolutely beautiful, mate, and
Yeah.
it fills me with hope and encouragement, and that's exactly one of the main reasons we decided to do this, isn't it? Because we wanted to help men, and yeah, that's so encouraging. I'm so pleased to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many of these people who she visits will actually listen, but I hope they do, and they get something out of it, because I genuinely believe what we're saying will help people, and just starting right from the beginning with the cold showers. That I preach about cold showers, but I genuinely think if someone is in such a bad mental headspace, if they get in that cold shower, it sort of takes all your problems away, because all you can think about is your breath and being cold, basically, and surviving in that moment. I
Yeah,
think that's where it'll start for a lot of people. If you can get over that barrier of being cold and do it on a daily basis, you really are going to get yourself into a better place. And I really believe that, and I hope that people do listen.
yeah, no, that's couldn't have put it any better myself, Sam.
Yeah.
And not just, hopefully not just taking sort of our advice on board, but just the sense of community that we're trying to sort of instill here, and make it a little bit conversational, a little bit informal at times, and just have a good chat, and make people feel like they're not just a listener, they're a friend, they're the brethren, they're part of this brotherhood, this community that we're creating. That's brilliant. And if you are listening in and you've got mental health issues, and you've been turned on to this by an healthcare professional, or by a friend or member of your family, then you always remember that it's just a season, and in the words of George Harrison, all things must pass. And you're not alone. You're never alone. And if you feel like you need someone to talk to, then feel free to reach out to Sam and I. We'll tell you where you can get in touch later on in the podcast.
Yeah, it's true that what you said there, Tommy. You're never alone. You literally you are never alone. I know sometimes you might feel like you're alone. Hell, I live on my own and have done for a long time. I'm alone pretty much every night. We know even when you live with people, you can feel alone.
Yeah.
But if you do end up sticking this podcast on, and it gives you a bit of life, then gosh, we would really love to know, because that's what keeps us going, as well as enjoying it ourselves. We love to hear that people are doing good off the back of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, love that, Tommy. Some good feedback there.
Yeah, really encouraging stuff, mate. Yeah, and sort of off the back of that, we've had a couple more positive reviews, haven't we, on the old Spotify?
Yeah. Keep them 5 stars coming in, people. And
yes, please.
I'm gonna say it, Tommy. Someone give us a 4-star review.
How dare they? How dare they?
Whoever give us that 4-star review, we're not angry and we're not upset. We just want to know why. And if you could just be honest and say you didn't like this or that, we just want to know why. Get in touch.
How can we turn your 4-star review into a 5-star? Let us know.
Yeah. What was it about it that made you drop a star? Because was it my winch?
Was it Sam sniffling in the last episode, or mine in the first episode? Was it was it the digestive biscuits that undermined?
Well, I think that's probably it.
One final thing that I've had coming in. This came in. It wasn't after the last episode actually, but we've got a young apprentice plumber, gas engineer who listens in. Goes by the name of Kyle, and I do believe that he's trying to improve his sleep quality off the back of our Fuel and Recovery Part 2 episode, but I am told that he's still eating shreddies every morning for breakfast. So,
oh, come on, Kyle.
What have you got to say to Kyle, Sam?
Kyle, listen, if you're gonna put that stuff down your neck in the morning, just don't bother, my friend. Just pack it in. Either don't eat at all, or eat something good. Get some protein in you. We don't need these refined carbs in the morning. These shitty cereals and stuff like that. Get a nice 4-egg scramble inside you instead.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Sam. First, what I would say, Kyle, read the ingredients on the back of your shreddies, and I think that you should take Sam's prescription to the chemist. And by chemist, I mean your local farm shop. Get as many fresh, pasture-raised, free-range, organic eggs as you can get your hands on. And nice 4-egg scramble, as Sam said, each and every morning.
I know it's not the I know it's much easier to put a bowl of shreddies out than it is to get the pan, do the butter, all that with the eggs, but it'll just make you feel better, and you might not have that midday crash. I don't know if you have a midday crash. Who knows? Well, I don't know.
Interestingly, Sam, on that, his boss did reach out to me and said that his productivity drastically drops off a cliff in the afternoon, and that is because his insulin was spiked very early by the consumption of shreddies. And his blood sugars are all over the place, and he's just he's just not being productive in an afternoon. So what I say to that is, if the consumption of shreddies continues, dock his wages.
There's the incentive, isn't it? Simple as that.
No Any shreddies. Final words on that, Sam?
No shreddies, no salary. That's what we'll say. No, just try and cut it. I know it's easy. It's very convenient, but just the sugar, that refined sugar alone in the shreddies is it's crap, and it's going to make you feel crap as well. So stop it off, Kyle.
What do you think about that, Kyle? The encouraging thing is he's listening to this podcast, so he's on the right track.
Yeah. We're not taking the piss, Kyle. We want you to be better, and you will be.
You will be, mate, and we're here to support you and encourage you. So, moving on, Sam.
Yes.
I suppose it's a good time, 30 minutes in, to actually discuss what this episode is about and what we're talking about today.
Yes, please.
So, this episode it's the mission statement. We're going to talk a little bit about why we're doing this podcast, what our purpose is, what our vision and values are, and what our plans for the future include. And I know we've already touched on this in the pilot episode, Sam, the introduction, but I feel we've just come off the back of our deep dives into the Thriving 5 pillars, and it just felt like a nice time to sort of round up, summarise a little bit, and I feel like we're better placed now to offer a little bit more insight into the whole reason why we're doing this podcast and the motivation for it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I know. So we're saying, we haven't got a specific subject this week, have we? Really, it's more us talking about what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Talking, ranting,
Whinging,
whatever you want.
moaning,
Whinging, a little bit of everything.
drinking. No, we don't drink.
Yeah.
We don't drink. That'll be bad.
Go
on, Tommy.
So
kick us off.
Yeah, I'll get us kicked off if that's all right, Sam, because I do have a bit to say on this. So, why are we doing this? That's $1 million question. For me, there's two reasons. But before I come on to them, there's obviously something going seriously wrong for men in society, in Western civilization. And I think that is because men are under attack. They're under attack in education systems. They're under attack in community. They're under attack in the workplace. They're under attack in the entertainment and media industries. They're under attack by political leaders. And I think we need to stop. We need to stop this. It's so damaging, and men have been under attack for too long now, and we're really starting to suffer the consequences of this. The second reason is, I think, a little bit of self-infliction. So as we touched on previous episodes, Sam, men have sort of settled for mediocrity. We've become weak. We've become mundane. We've settled for convenience, and we've gotten too comfortable. And I've just looked at a couple of the statistics on why I think men are struggling today. Why men are weak. Why men are getting things wrong, why we're not thriving, why we're not achieving greatness. And I'll just share these, Sam, and I'd be interested to get your thoughts on this. So, first episode, we spoke about suicide being the biggest killer for men under 50, which is an alarming statistic. So obviously there is that statistic again, and I think it's something like it accounts for 17.4 deaths per 100,000, which might not seem a lot, but when you look at the population, you look at how many people are dying, it is quite an alarming number. Off the back of that, how many men have mental health issues in the UK? And I'm using the UK as an example because that's where we're from. Yeah. That's what we know. But the statistics are unbelievable. So 12.5% of men in the UK have been diagnosed with a mental health disorder.
It's frightening. That is frightening.
That's only the formal diagnosis. So in reality, it's probably a much greater percentage of men are actually suffering with mental health disorders. Yeah. So that's depression, anxiety, stress, OCD, all these different types of mental health issues, intrusive thoughts. And then off the back of that, this year, the statistics so far tell us that 863,000 men are unemployed in the UK. Mm-hmm. So, working age men, unemployed.
Another shocker.
And then a recent, I don't know how up to date this is, but we know that men are more likely to be obese than women. That's what the statistics tell us. And we reckon that 67% of men are either overweight or living with obesity.
67?
In the UK.
Jesus. What is going on? I'll just have to chime in there, Tommy. because some of them stats there are absolutely shocking. And I say in the past about social media and how it's ruining, and that will be part of a lot of them stats there. But I've seen pictures on social media, where it compares, say, like a typical coastal beach resort, and you'll see loads of people on the beach, and it compares, say, the 80s to 2025, and you look at like 80s, 70s, everyone's slim, all look really healthy. You know where I'm going with this. Everyone looks slim and healthy on the beach in the 80s, and you fast forward 40 years, and you've just got people that look so unhealthy, fat, big beer bellies, bad skin, everything, and you think, what has gone wrong there in 40 years that's so bad? And I'm not trying to put down people who are overweight and obese, because there are certain situations what has led them to that lifestyle. But everything's linked together. You're depressed, so you start eating, so you get overweight, so you become more unhealthy, and that seems to go in a cycle. But why are people?
Cycle.
It literally is, and why are people getting this way? Why has it gone so bad? Well, the first thing I think of, specifically on what I've just said there about the comparison of sort of body shapes from 40, 50 years ago, diet. That's the only thing you can put that down to, isn't it? Diet and exercise, but more specifically diet, isn't it? Because diet's like 80% of you can't out-train a bad diet, as they say.
You can't. And I mean, whilst we as people must shoulder some of the responsibility for diet and our own choices, I think it's also important to say that our food has changed as well. In that time, it's become ultra processed. We're getting all these preservatives and additives put in there that weren't there previously, all these artificial ingredients that's not real food. So not only have we started making poorer choices for convenience, because all these receptors in our brains are addicted to all the stuff that's being put in food, but because the food itself, in its composition, its material, its makeup, its constituents, that has changed as well. The increased use of pesticides, herbicides, fungicides on crops. Pretty much everything that we consume today, in one way, shape, or form, is
contaminated in some way.
Contaminated. It is, and it can be overwhelming when you go down this rabbit hole, as it has been for me and you. But I think that's probably something for another episode. But poor dietary choices, and the fact that food has changed as well by the manufacturers, by the food producers.
And laziness, Tommy. Laziness is such a big one, isn't it?
It is.
Like I've said on previous episodes, and not to keep repeating myself, everything's on a screen in the palm of our hand now. So we don't need to, and back, I hate to compare eras, I guess, in time, but no one was working from home, was they? Back 50, 40 years ago, really.
Yeah.
And I know you work from home, but you thrive in other ways, and you stick to the diet and stuff. But a lot of these people who are sat in offices and working from home, it's such an easy way to become lazy, and you're shoveling down coffee and snacks and stuff all day. And you can sit and you wonder why you suddenly become unhealthy, and you're suddenly relying on the NHS. And I think there's stats about that, isn't there, where admissions to A&E are like at ridiculously catastrophic levels, not just through broken bones and things like that, but like with you say about obesity related illnesses which come from like heart failure and strokes and diabetes, all that stuff. It's all linked, and it is all from poor diet and life choices.
And sort of linked to that, Sam, like lowered immunity as well, and poor, weak immune systems. And I listened to it's a great episode of the Joe Rogan Experience. I've listened to it several times, and I'd encourage anyone to check it out. But it's an episode that I did with Mark Sisson, which is something that I've spoken about before. And just a brief part of the episode, they talk about the COVID-19 pandemic and about lockdowns and making people stay indoors. And they said that what they should have actually done is encourage people to get outside more, to get sunlight, to get fresh air, to increase their vitamin D synthesis and production, and to make better dietary and lifestyle choices, to exercise, to eat better. But instead of giving any real constructive and productive and logical advice like that, pretty much every government and health organisation advises us to lock ourselves away, and carry on watching Netflix and eating Doritos and chocolate bars, and it's borderline criminal, really, what went on. But I've got one final statistic, Sam, and again, don't quote me on these because they're not 100%. They've come from various different sources, and some of them are a couple of years old now. But I think it just paints the picture, and it you can sort of get an idea of what we're talking about here. But I think it's almost like 3 million children in the UK grow up without a father. And we've spoken about this before, Sam, about the importance of having a father figure in your life, a male role model, and to think that so many children are potentially growing up without a father figure in any way, shape, or form is quite alarming.
Yeah, it is. But we have to say as well, I know a lot of people who don't grow up with a father, they still can thrive in life through life choices that they do make themselves. I think there has been many people who have, but it does help.
Of course, Sam. Not doubting that for any second, but you're sort of stacking the odds against a child. And again, we've said this before, that some children will grow up with only one parent and they'll do better than someone that's had two parents, because it's quality, not quantity. But we firmly believe that each child deserves a loving mother and a loving father, and it's important to have that strong masculine influence, and then also that strong feminine influence as well. So yeah, I think it's a real shame, and it highlights why there will be some issues there, because some children are going without. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight why I think things are going wrong for men there, Sam. And we've looked at some statistics there, and I think it is frightening, and it hopefully paints a picture on why we feel so strongly about this, why we're so passionate about creating this movement and helping men become better, ourselves included.
Yeah. Do you know what you mentioned there about COVID and being locked away? It just reminded me of something that I was listening to the other day on a podcast. It was about a doctor who was quite passionate about specifically vitamin D.
Yeah.
The power of vitamin D, and specifically getting it from sunlight, obviously, because that's the best way you can get it. And she told a story about like a young boy who'd got some infection on his lungs, or it might even been a cancerous on his lungs, and he had to have one of his lungs removed, and the other one, as an after effect of that, his other lungs started to get infected, and he was basically the little guy was dying, And the doctors and told his family he's got like 4 days to live or something like that. And they asked the boy, they said, what is it that you want to do in your last 4 days of life? And he just said, I want to go outside, because they'd been kept him up in the hospital for so long trying to fix him. And she said it was almost a miracle. As soon as he went outside and got in the sunlight after weeks of being inside, everything started to change in his body. It's almost like the infection started to go away and his body started to heal just from the air and the sunlight. And it was like she was saying how important, being outside is, and vitamin D and sunlight is, because it can literally heal you from a near terminal illness. And I'm not saying that, it's going to heal everyone, but this might have been an exception. This might have literally been some form of miracle. But the fact that the sunlight had such a powerful effect on his body, I thought was brilliant. And it just made me think about people inside and why they're not thriving in that way.
Yeah, no, that thanks for sharing, Sam. That does sound like an exceptional case, but it's a great example of how powerful sunlight and fresh air can be.
Yeah, really is. That's why everyone's so happy when they go on holiday.
Exactly. So, some more thoughts on sort of our mission and why we're doing this, Sam, and I don't want to get political here, but I truly believe that this country is in rapid decline, and it has been for a number of years. And I think that drastic action's needed. I think a movement like this is needed to curb that negative trend and to stop that and to make a change. And as I said, I'm not going political because this is a forum for all men, regardless of your political persuasion or what your beliefs are. But I don't think any of us can deny, whichever way you lean, that this country is in decline. And much of Western civilization is in decline. And we've spoken about a couple of the reasons there. But I think back to that quote that I shared in an earlier episode, that strong men create good times create weak men, men create hard times, and there's that sort of cycle. But I think I'd just like to call all the brethren out there, everyone who's listening in, to share this podcast with your friends, family, the men in your lives, because I truly believe that every man should be part of this movement, because I think the strength in numbers, and if we come together as a community, I think that we can make a real difference in the lives of a lot of men, and hopefully start to make things a little bit better, because it's hard to imagine that they can get much worse, but they can.
Yeah. And it is, isn't it, in some ways? It's neither getting better or worse in society, with technology and the more processed foods that's on the shelves, people are just going to get more unwell, unfortunately. And I keep going on about diet, but it's such a big thing. Whatever the things you put in your body is just going to affect everything in your life from start to finish. It's going to affect your mood, which will affect how you treat people. It's going to affect your overall health, So if we can start eating better foods, if we can start getting outside more, if we can exercise more, if we can be better people, then just do it.
Yeah. It all links in, Sam. And I think we need to restore common decency, basic values and morals, and Christian values and morals, whether you believe or not, that the country was built on. I think we need to honour our ancestors and our history and celebrate those that have gone before us. I think we need to restore sort of respect and honesty and integrity. And I don't know about you, Sam, but I look around and I see the way that some people behave. And we're talking about many of all people in general in society, and it's upsetting. It's really upsetting, and it's no wonder that we're in the sort of mess that we're in. Whereas that decency gone?
Yeah, I know.
Where's it gone, Sam?
I think it's a lot down to people just thinking they can get away with anything these days. Let's be a law unto ourselves. Let's cover our face and go and do what we want. Basically, specifically the youth. It's so bad, and we're not saying everyone's brought up in a terrible way. You just being respectful to people, saying you please and thank you, just good manners. It costs nothing, and it means a lot to people. If you, someone can be having a really bad day, and you can just do something, but by just saying some kind words to them, it can make them feel better. And we don't ever want to lose something as simple as that. Something as simple as talking and being nice. It shouldn't even be a conversation that being nice has been lost, but it has. And it's sad. It's sad, but we need to bring it back. And we encourage people just to be nice all the time. I know, we get upset about things and we get annoyed and angry, but it literally costs nothing to be nice. So do better.
Yeah, absolutely, Sam. I've got like one final sort of thought on this, Sam, that I just wanted to share, and I think it sort of ties in with what we've already spoken about there. But I just feel that, and I'm guilty of this myself, but I think that men are pretty crap at talking to each other and being open and honest. And I don't think this has always been the case, but it certainly is today. But I feel like if you see your friends or family or people that you care about doing stuff that's not good or behaving in a way that's not decent, then step up to the plate and tell them.
Don't encourage it. Don't encourage bad behaviour.
Don't encourage it. Don't sort of facilitate it. Step up and call it out. If you really care about your friends or your family or whoever it is who's doing something, and let them know. And I really feel like a lot of men today will be pardon my language here, but I can't think of a better word, but be bitches about it and fall out with the friends and, take the stance of you shouldn't be telling me or you shouldn't be saying this or doing that. But personally, I'm a man and I would appreciate honesty from my brothers out there. If I'm doing something that's not right, then call me out on it. I can't grow and develop and learn otherwise. I think we need to stop pussyfooting around each other and pretend that everything's great just because, especially when it's your friends, just because it's your friends, you feel like it's your duty as a friend to be kind and protect them, even if they're behaving in a poor way. I think it's bullshit. I think a real friend and a good friend and a great man would demand action and can appreciate when they get honesty from someone, telling them that something's got to change or something's got to be done better. And that's not to say that we should be arseholes or we should be rude. We should do it in a loving and compassionate way, but say, Sam, I want you to thrive. I want you to be successful, but I notice that you're eating too many digestive biscuits. Or do you know what I mean? Or say, I've noticed that you've done this, and I think you'd be better if you tried this. And as men, we should be able to sort of take that on board and be constructive rather than be soft about it and fall out and sort of our own foolish pride gets in the way sometimes. So I think we should try and facilitate these conversations and be frank with each other and say to one another, say to the brethren, to our brothers, our friends, our listeners, that we're struggling. Can you help me? Can you offer any advice? And that's something that I'd like to think we've done so far, Sam, in the episodes that have gone before. We've had this sort of segment where we've had a bit of accountability and we've said what barriers we're facing, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a sign of weakness. I think too many men feel like it makes them out to be weak. But I'd argue that it's actually a strength if you have the ability to recognise that you need help or support in some way, and you ask for it, and that's a great thing.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if I've said it before, but your best friends are the people that you can talk to without any filter, and I think that's a good little line, because you can call them rotten, and you can call them out on the bad behaviour, and they'll still be a friend. Hopefully, as long as they're a good friend, because you do it to me all the time. You're always calling me out on stuff I'm doing and stuff I'm not doing, and I don't start crying about it or say you're not my friend anymore.
Well, and hopefully it's done in a way where there is a little bit of banter with it as well, and it's done in a loving and caring way. It's not like giving you both barrels and making you feel like a pile of crap, and and it's the way that you go about it. But it's something that I've been thinking about, Sam, and I feel really strongly about that. I feel like men do need to step up and hold each other accountable a little bit more, and try and help and encourage each other a bit more, and stop pussyfooting around and being scared of opening your mouth because you're scared of offending your friend. If if they are a real friend, and if they do actually want to be better and to be decent, then they'll appreciate you calling them out on something.
Yeah.
And then a final thing off the back of that, Sam, as well, is I feel like a lot of men, I don't know about you, but a lot of men seem to think that they're in like competition with each other.
Oh yeah. That's male pride. It's male pride, isn't it?
I think social media's got a lot to answer for again. And despite what that says and what it has us believe, and sort of how we've been conditioned, don't be a cookie cutter. Like, we're not in competition with each other. It doesn't matter who's got the flashiest car or the biggest house or who goes on the nicest holidays. We need to help each other be better, encourage each other, and create an environment to support and celebrate each other. And I think that separates the men from great men, to be honest. Those who are able to celebrate each other's achievements and share in that joy and be happy for one another. And that's not to say that competitiveness isn't good, because it's great to have competitiveness, but in the right context. Don't compare yourself with someone else based off what you've seen on social media. Don't feel like you're in competition with your friend, on who's the most successful or whatever. Do you know what I'm getting at there, Sam?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's good to have healthy competition.
Of course.
Like that's what keeps you moving. It keeps you challenging yourself, doesn't it? Like, for example, me doing the triathlon a few weeks ago with two mates. We wasn't in any way in competition with each other, because all three of us are at different levels fitness wise.
Yeah.
And I knew that one specific friend was way above me fitness wise, but in no way was I trying to put him down, or I was encouraging. If anything, I was like, you can do better. You can do better than what you think you can do, and that's how it should be. Definitely, you got. I love the notion of encouraging your friends, Like
Yeah.
that's what you should be doing. There's absolutely no way you should be putting down your friends unless you're calling out bad behaviour. You should
And
always be encouraging them, no matter what, unless it's bad behaviour.
absolutely, Sam, and extend that out not just to your friends, but to just to any men who you come across or who you interact with.
Yeah,
But that's a great analogy, Sam. Really, the training, because you've just made me think of any time that I've trained with friends, but particularly when I used to train with my brother and our friend Dean. Um, and again, it goes back to sort of the different pillars. So it was incorporating connect and play along with our training and challenge. But there would be that healthy competition on who could get the most reps or who could get the heaviest weight when we were doing deadlifts or squats, and or if we were doing some grip training, who could hold it for the longest.
yeah,
And there was that natural healthy competition. But then when you'd had your turn and someone else was up, you're shouting and you're screaming encouragement at them.
yeah,
And if they beat you, you're happy about it. You celebrate it, and that's exactly how it should be.
yeah. Definitely spurs you on to be better yourself, doesn't it? You know, just because they can lift a bit more than you doesn't mean anything. They might be genetically bigger than you, so you may never get to that level. But it's good to have that motivation to do better.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And we could probably sit here and talk all night about
Yeah, I know.
why we're doing this and what's the sort of motivation behind it, and why we think men are getting things wrong, and why we feel like there's a need for this movement. But that's why we're doing this podcast. You know, it's something we can address each and every episode in one way, shape, or form. So we'll move on, Sam. But before we do, just one sort of snippet. What's the main sort of motivation for you behind this, the Making Men Great Again movement?
It's just to make men great again. I know
Yeah.
you've just said that, but when people are when I'm trying to almost sell the podcast to people who don't know that I do a podcast, that we do a podcast, they're like, "What's it about?" And I basically just say, "Well, we're just trying to make men better in all aspects of their life. We're trying to move from men being almost pathetic to to really thriving in their life." And I say you compare men from 40 years ago to people now, they're very different. It's a very different era of men, and I like that era of men from the 70s and 80s, like really hard men, tough and don't take no shit. And that's what I want to. That's almost how I sell it to people, as well as just trying to say about getting people's mental health a lot better
Yeah.
by doing
Yeah.
just simple things, and that's what I take away from it, as well as telling other people
Yeah.
what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think?
Very much the same as yourself, Sam, but sort of in a nutshell, I just want to see men be healthier and happier,
Yeah,
and honest. And a big thing for me is, and it all links in together, but it is sort of the behavioural aspects. I think you've said like going back 40, 50 years, but you even going back a little bit further than that, around wartime. And I say every man, but obviously there were exceptions to it. But in general, every man was decent. They had respect, good values, good morals. Kept themselves smart in appearance, whether they were working class or upper class. They were caring, compassionate, good neighbours, good members of community.
yeah,
Helpful, worked hard, They had that work ethic. Proud of their history, their heritage, the country, and celebrated it. But also strong and determined and resilient. And we've spoken about before men going off to war today at the drop of the hat because it was the duty, and we've spoken about men going down the coal mines, going down the pit, as we'd say in Wigan. But can you imagine? Can you imagine men being called to do anything like that today? What the reaction would be, what the response would be. And of course, there are still great men today. We're not saying that there isn't. There's still some really, really good men out there in community, but is there enough? For me, every man has a duty. Every man should be certainly striving for greatness.
That's why I used the word pathetic before. I mean, that's probably a bit of a strong word to say, but I think it's more soft, pathetic,
weak,
lacking motivation, lacking any drive. It's all gone.
Yeah.
Gone are the days where, men often were the main breadwinners for the household. Now that's not the case anymore. So maybe men just don't feel as important anymore. Therefore, the motivation just drops. I don't know. There's lots of things, isn't there?
That's exactly what I was getting at, Sam, before when I said that I think men have been under attack a little bit in the workplace, in education, and we've had this phrase toxic masculinity like rammed down our throats, and we've basically been told that it's not okay to be a man anymore, and that so that's what I was sort of getting at with that. I feel like we have been under attack a little bit. We've been displaced, and I feel a lot of men are feeling lonely. They feel like they've got no purpose or passion, no sense of direction. They feel lost and alone. And I'm hoping that just by creating this podcast, by sharing content, by creating a community for men to come together, Sam, that we can change that, and we can help men feel passionate again, and we can help men feel part of something bigger than themselves, and give them a sense of purpose and passion, and some encouragement and motivation.
Yeah, definitely. Fully agree, mate. Fully agree.
To the brethren listening in, how can you help us? Because me and Sam, we can't do this alone. We're happy to obviously create the content, to talk about things that need talking about, to run everything. But how can you help us? Because we do need help. We need help to grow this community, to help drive this movement forward. So as always, we say this each and every week, but get in touch, whether that's via socials, email, personal messages, offer some encouragement, feedback, reviews. If you really want to help us, leave a 5-star review on Spotify or whatever platform you're listening on. Follow us on socials, subscribe to our YouTube channel, share links to the episodes, or share video clips that we're going to start sharing from the podcast with your friends and family and the men in your life. Please do whatever you can to help grow this movement if you feel strongly enough about it. As I said earlier, I feel like every man should be part of this movement. And we have had some people, Sam, asking how they can support us in other ways.
Yeah.
And it's not something that we've made a decision on yet, because the whole intention of this podcast, it's not for profit. It's to do everything we've just spoken about to help men become healthier and happier. And it's a passion hobby for me and Sam. It's not a career. It's not a job. It's not a source of income. But we have considered potentially starting a Buy Me a Coffee page or a Patreon or something like that a little bit further down the line. When we have built up a little bit more content and there's some more things in place. So, listeners, let us know what your thoughts are on that. Some people have asked us how they can support us in different ways. That's a potential option going forward, because me and Sam do put a lot of time and effort into this, and we also it comes at a financial cost. We have to pay to record these episodes and get the content out there on the different platforms. So that's something that we could perhaps do that would help us advertise better, help us create better content and reach a wider audience. As I said, we've not decided on that yet, really, because we're sort of, there's mixed emotions on it. Because, like I said, it's not for profit, but people have been asking. So let us know your thoughts on that. Give us some feedback, please. Sam, anything on that?
Not much else to say on that, really, mate. Yeah, we don't want to. We're definitely not begging for anything. We're definitely not begging for money or anything like that.
No.
It's just almost like somewhat of a gesture or a gift in some way. Other than the reviews, which is more than enough, to be honest. The reviews are brilliant. The reviews and the 5-star reviews and the feedback and everything. That's all fantastic. But if we do go that one bit further, then that would be a nice little gesture. But it's something to consider further down the line.
And I hasten to add that if that is a decision that we do make, that obviously anything that is generated that does come in would be reinvested on the podcast and creating content and reaching more people, and there will be a paper trail for that. Okay, Sam. So moving on, it's your moment. It's your moment.
Time to shine.
Yeah, time to shine. Your moment in the sun. It's time to introduce Sam's whinge of the week.
Here we go again, folks. Yours. I'm going back to the old social media again on this one, because as a passive scroller on social media, I do see a lot of things that really do pee me off, to be honest. And I shouldn't really be on it because I'm hypocritical, but I am. And things annoy me. And this week's thing that annoys me is people posting about the holidays, the trips abroad, constantly, all day, every day when they're abroad. Not only that, it's constant pictures of them sat on a sun lounger, them being in a pool, putting sun cream on the back, the food on the plate. It's
cocktails.
From cocktails. It's from waking up to going to sleep. It's like people don't actually enjoy the holiday anymore. They're just there to post on social media, and it's like it's taken away from the enjoyment of the holiday.
Yeah.
Christ almighty. Not only that, but it's the before and after of the holiday as well, Tommy. It's like the countdown on social media to going away. And then it's after the holiday, it's the constant spam of pictures. Not only that, it's the take me back posts. Take me back to this. I'm like, just fucking go back if you want to go back so much. And stop attention seeking. Like, we know you're on holiday. You probably worked hard for it. It's your only break of the year, perhaps. But just please enjoy yourself instead of thinking that everyone else wants to be involved in your holiday and see what you're doing. Because we really, really don't. What have you got to say on that, Tommy?
What I've got to say on that is it's really sad in a way, isn't it?
It is. It's very sad.
By sad, I mean, like, who are these people living for? Because it's certainly not themselves. Are they living for the followers on social media, or the friends on Facebook, or whatever it is? Because like the spending all of the time, valuable time, precious time, that could be better spent actually enjoying themselves, doing something productive, or just being in the moment and appreciating that time by taking photos, videos, drafting posts. And listen, one of the reasons I gave up with social media was it just takes. If you want to post something, it's not a 5 minute job.
No, it's not. You
You
have
know,
to think about it, don't you?
particularly if you're uploading like a number of different photos. Like, how long are these people spending on posting?
Yeah.
And it's just so sad. Like you hit the nail on the head, Sam. Just enjoy yourselves, enjoy your time, enjoy your holiday. Be present in the moment. Don't like. Do you even need a phone? Like, the only time that I would want a phone on holidays is just to maybe use a map to help me get somewhere, or take a couple of photos. But I don't need to, just for my own memories and to share with my family when I come home. I don't need to put them on social media to a group of people who don't care
Exactly, mate.
for some sort of external validation.
Yeah. I've said that word so many times, external validation. It's the attention seekers, isn't it, really, what do this? You know, there's millions and millions of billions of people around the world on social media. But you know that you can tell the attention seekers from the non-attention seekers. It's the people who are dying for the likes. You know, there's something on the story every minute of every day, and nobody cares about it. Literally, no one cares, but they still feel the need to post it because they want to show off this life, what they've got. You know, I was aware, as you know, when I did the podcast when I was in Mallorca. You know, no one other than me close family, no one actually knew I'd gone. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, there was no trace of it on social media whatsoever. And I think that's how it should be. Just get away, put your phone away, and enjoy your surroundings. You know, we're on our phones 90% of the time when you're back in wherever you live, in whichever country you're at. Just put it down for a bit. Have a break. It's called a holiday. It's a break. It's a vacation. So use that time productively to be off your phone. End of the whinge.
No, amen to that, brother. Amen. That is all I'll say. I've got an holiday booked myself. I'm going away for a fortnight. And part of the excitement for me is getting away from all that noise.
Yeah.
Leaving my phone tucked away, you know, in a safe in the room for an emergency, or maybe nip on it for 5-10 minutes a day just to catch up with any important correspondence. But, you know, I'm certainly not going to be carrying it around with me or sat on it by the pool when I'm having some quiet time. I'm going to be doing something productive, like reading a book and just enjoying the peace and tranquility and getting some sunlight and having that time to connect and contemplate.
But you're still going to be doing the podcast, though, aren't you?
Oh, each and every day. Each and every day.
Good. Anyway, that's the whinge of the week, mate. Let's move on.
Beautiful, beautiful, mate. We always enjoy a good whinge of the week.
We do.
So, as we've just come off the back of our Thriving Five deep dive, Sam, and sort of introducing the brethren to our philosophy there, the five, what we consider the 5 key components that will help you thrive and achieve greatness as a man: connect, fuel and recovery, challenge, play and contemplate. For those who are listening in for the first time, just go back a couple of episodes.
Where have you been?
Where have you been? Go back a few episodes and listen in. Some really good content there. We've had some great feedback from the brethren so far. But I thought it'd just be nice just to do a very quick recap, whistle-stop tour of the 5 pillars, our key takeaways from each of them, just a couple of lines, and then our sort of accountability segment again, and where we're up to with the different commitments that we've made, the power pledges as we call them. So starting off with Connect, Sam, I'll let you do the honours, mate. Key takeaways from Connect, if you to tell the listeners.
Connect is as simple as it sounds. It's connecting with people around you, basically family and friends. Also connecting with nature the best you can, whether that be grounding, mostly grounding, and just
sunlight,
fresh air, sunlight. Just connect the best you can with other people and be nice to people. Basically, I think that sums it up.
Beautiful, Sam. Couldn't have said it any better, my friend. I've not much to add to that other than just I've dedicated time each day to connect with your loved ones, to have positive interactions with other human beings, and to get outside and get some fresh air and let all your senses be awakened by nature.
Yeah, definitely.
And in terms of sort of your commitments to connect, Sam, to implement that in your own life and sort of make any improvements there, is there anything you've been up to in particular?
Just mainly connecting with friends on a bit of a deeper level, and my son, of course. That's the biggest connection that I have, or the biggest connection that I want, I should say. And I'll always keep improving on that.
Anything that you've been doing with a lad that you've been really enjoying, like, and that's helped strengthen that connection recently?
There's nothing specific. It's just spending more time together. Making sure he's not on that bloody iPad, and making sure I'm not on my phone as much. Just talking to each.
Smash the iPad up yet?
No, I can't. It was a birthday present a month ago. I couldn't do that.
I only joke, mate. But no, that's great.
Yeah, stay off the phones and talk more.
Yeah. Brilliant.
What about you?
Exactly the same, mate. Really, just trying to have that time, dedicated time with the loved ones. Each day, trying to interact a little bit more and make time to spend with friends as well, and just reaching out to family and stuff. Like I've said before, living in Northumberland now, a lot of the friends and family are still living back home, so don't get a chance to see them physically, like in person, but just making the effort to reach out, phone call, message, whatever that might be. And then with the lad, like a big thing for me was similar to what you've just said, Sam, about the phone, but I've really been conscious of that, and I've massively decreased any time that's spent on my phone when I'm in my son's presence, and I'm really sort of conscious of that, and just been having more time to play with him and read to him and just have fun with him, really, and it's been beautiful, and I've really seen that connection blossom, even more so than it already had in recent weeks, which is beautiful, and it means a lot to me.
Gorgeous. Next one, fuel and recovery, mate.
Fuel and recovery. So
this one's simple for me. Eat the whole foods. Eat the whole foods. Get in cold showers. And that's it.
Yeah, incredibly simple. Yeah, Prioritize natural whole foods. Cut out any processed garbage. Read the ingredients when you go shopping. Eggs, animal products, eggs, dairy, meat. Prioritize those.
Yeah, simple.
Recovery, you've already said, Sam. Get your cold showers in. Get grounded. Prioritize your sleep. Be very conscious about your sleep and your sleep hygiene, and create a better routine, nighttime routine, and really, really sort of focus on getting good quality sleep rather than quantity. Don't sort of fall for the old misconception that it's quantity that matters. It's not. It's quality. Getting a deep, restful sleep.
Yeah, that's it.
And while we're keeping each other honest, Sam, and accountable, are you getting on with the fuel element of that yourself, with a diet on the road, with work? Are you preparing ahead of time and sticking to your guns?
Not gonna lie, mate. It's very up and down, like everything is in my life. I do try to plan. Meal prep isn't my strongest point. Through a bit of laziness, I'd say, to be honest. But I'm honest about it. I know what I'm doing wrong. Training a lot, so picking up things as I'm out and about on the road.
Yeah.
But it's a gradual process, that, and it will get better.
I've got to call you out on it, Sam, because you made a promise. You made a power pledge. You assured me and the listeners that last week, which was next week when we recorded the previous episode, you was going to prepare your dinner for each day at work. You was going to boil eggs and take fruit. And did that happen? Be honest with me. I want you to be real honest with me.
The fruit, yes. The other part, no. Sorry to disappoint the listeners. Hey, we're just human. I'm just a human. I'm not always getting it right. But rest assured, breakfast and dinner, or tea, whatever you want to call it, is spot on.
You've got to keep your promises, though, Sam.
It's just that lunch. It's that lunch where I fall foul. But,
you've got to keep your promises. The Ulster never lies.
I know. It's all right. Don't worry. I'll be okay.
And just quickly, in terms of recovery, anything you're doing differently there, or anything that you're trying to do a little bit more?
No, it's the cold showers for me. The cold showers and sauna. I have access to a sauna, so I use that very, very frequently. Definitely trying to get out in the sun more, as much as I can first thing in the morning, if it is sunny. I should say we don't get much sun in England, but I find that sunlight to be a massive recovery tool for me. Definitely.
It really is. And I hope while you're getting the sunlight, the bare feet are connected, grounded, and anchored into the earth.
They are, for sure, my friend.
Beautiful.
It enhances the experience.
Beautiful.
Okay. Next one. Challenge. Go for it, Tommy.
Challenge. Right.
Challenge.
It is what it says on the tin, isn't it, really?
Literally.
In very simple terms, just challenge yourself. Put yourself out your comfort zone. Try to accomplish something or learn something, achieve something new. Push yourself outside of your comfort zone. That's in a nutshell. That's what I'd say on challenge, Sam.
Yeah, but it is. It's pushing yourself, isn't it? Do something that you wouldn't normally do, or that might be slightly uncomfortable for you in that day. Like, give yourself a goal that you perhaps thought was not really possible. That's what I did. I've done 2 triathlons now. I never thought I'd do a triathlon, and I've done 2, and many more to come. And I might do something else after that. it's that mindset what will get you to the next level of your life and get you thriving a lot more, I think.
Absolutely. Totally agree. Read a book,
Mm.
learn a new language. For me personally, recently I've still had some DIY projects ongoing. I built my own shed base recently. I've had a new shed delivered, and I put the base together for that, which is something that I had no idea where to start really, to be honest with you. But with the help of my brother and some advice there, I was able to do it, and I was quite pleased with the results. It was quite amusing actually, Sam, because I said to the missus, I said take a photo of my shed base for me. My tape measure was out, spirit level was on it. I was I was chuffed a bit, so I was proud as punch.
Mm.
And she said, "Are you not embarrassed? It's hardly Stonehenge." And I thought that was disgraceful, to be honest.
She makes a good point, to be honest.
No, but for me,
You're proud of it, mate.
that was it was a challenge. It's not
Yeah.
something that I've done before, so it was a, however small or unimpressive it might seem, it was an accomplishment for me. So I was quite pleased with it.
No, yeah, I know, and your missus is well within her rights to take the piss. So
No,
not
don't get
it's all good. It's
don't
all in good
yeah.
jest.
It certainly is. Don't get me wrong. I didn't get too upset. Just a little bit, not too much upset.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's
But
good.
what about you, Sam? You've come off the back of a triathlon. Are you going to challenge yourself
Yes, mate.
next?
So it is just more triathlons, to be honest. But they're going up with the distances in the triathlon, so it's a bit further on each discipline: run, bike, and swim. Um, Doing it also into the later months in the year where it's a bit cold. Well, it's very much going to be a lot more colder. So that water's colder. Everything's just difficult, a lot more difficult when it's cold. So that's the aim. I'm going to also do, as well as the triathlons, in between triathlons, I'm going to do a couple of 10K runs. Like events, 10K events, not just run my own street. And this is from someone who doesn't like running. So yeah, that's where I'm up to with that. That's what I'm going to keep on doing.
Beautiful. I love to hear it, Sam, and I must admit there is the ever so slightest temptation for me to participate in a triathlon.
Please do.
I've had some encouragement from some of the listeners.
Yeah.
Including someone who you've completed triathlons with. So,
are you going to do it?
Watch this space. I'm not committing to it yet.
See, that's because on the attitude, mate.
Well, there's a lot going on, mate. There is other challenges there. It's not like I'm resting on my laurels or not being productive. But I am. It's something that I'd never even considered or thought that I would be interested in doing. But I think it's you speaking about it and how passionate you've been, and I can see the benefit that it's had for you mentally and physically. And there is a little temptation there. So maybe if you've talked about it some more over the next sort of 100 episodes or so, I'll be ready to to make the pledge.
Yeah, you should. That's how I got into it. Someone just spoke about it to me, and I was like, "Well, that's a challenge. I'm going to have to do it." And it's as simple as that for me, anyway. I know I've probably got less barriers than you in my life currently, as far as free time goes and whatnot. But
yeah,
you make time, don't you?
Yeah. Okay, so moving on, Sam, to the next of the thriving 5 pillars, play.
Yes.
Take it away.
Play. Well, it is what it is, isn't it? It's playing It's when I think of play, it's doing some kind of sport, doing an activity, playing with your friends, your family, doing something together with someone else, or it can be, not a physical activity. We've said before, playing a board game, men- mentally challenging yourself in that way. Um,
I'm laughing because during that episode, it's safe to say that we all established how much you enjoy a board game.
I did. I made the world record for how many times I could say board game, didn't I? In one podcast. Yeah, but you know what? Listen, guys, try a board game. If you think it's sad or a bit childish or whatever, just wait till you get it out and you'll be laughing within minutes because you'll have such a good time, isn't it?
Sam, it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true.
Literally.
But you've made it very very easy for me, Sam. All I'm going to add to that, the only thing I've got to say on play is have fun.
Yeah.
And if you can tie that in with some of the other pillars, particularly connect, it goes hand in hand with connect and challenge. Then beautiful.
Yeah. There we go. Sorted. Nice and easy, that one.
Yeah.
Next up, the fifth and final pillar, contemplate. Over to you, my friend.
Contemplate. Yeah, had a lot of fun with this one. So this one basically means just having dedicated time where you can actually think, process your thoughts, problem solve, ponder the mysteries of the universe. Just be alone with your thoughts without distraction. Have time to think deeply. And I think that's so important to help us make better decisions, to help us problem solve, to help us sort of consider our achievements, our barriers. So we've got to make plans on how to overcome things. Or that's contemplate to me. It also incorporates meditation, so practicing mindfulness to relax your body, to get yourself in a more relaxed state of mind, which will enable to sort of declutter. I like to use that phrase, to declutter your mind, to remove all the noise and all the distractions, all the negative thoughts that are bouncing around our minds, all the stress. So we can then think more clearly. We can have more clarity and more improved cognitive function.
Yeah.
And then again, off the back of that, what I will say is, and I know this isn't for everyone, but as you said, Sam, there's other ways to sort of incorporate this through practicing gratitude and stuff like that. But prayer, if that's something that you believe in, then I think that's beneficial as well.
Oh yeah, I agree. I'm not so much of a guy who prays myself, but I understand how it can help you. Definitely. Contemplate for me is more about the meditation side of things, and as well as the meditation, it's like you've said, it's just stopping and thinking. This week specifically, I've had a lot of time, not free time, but there's been, I've had 10 minutes, 20 minutes where I just sit in complete silence in the garden, and I will just sit there, leave my phone inside because I work off my phone. I get all my work through my phone, and if that's out the way, I can just sit and really do contemplate as best as I can, and that's all I'll say on that.
Good. Yeah. One final thing for me, we mentioned it earlier in the episode off the back of some feedback we've had, and it's something that I said in the contemplate episode, but I'd just encourage anyone who's listening in to think, the last thing they think before they go to sleep each and every night is, if that day was your last, if you weren't to wake up in the morning, would you be satisfied with how you've lived your life, and how that day is gone? Because none of us are promised tomorrow. So it's important that we take action, and we take action today.
Yeah, definitely. Fully agree, mate.
So to the listeners, as always, get in touch and let us know how you've implemented each of these 5 pillars into your own lives. What have you got planned for the future? How are you getting on with any of the changes that you have made so far? We'd love to hear from you. And sort of off the back of that, Sam, I think we'll just quickly mention a couple of the plans that we've got for the future, because people might be wondering what we're going to talk about next, because we've covered the 5 pillars, and they might be worried or overjoyed that we're running out of content, but we're not. The good news is we're not. We've got lots to talk about. And starting next week, very excited to announce that we'll be having our first guest on the show.
Oh, yes, we will. Very exciting.
It is, and it's something that we're going to be doing more often going forward. And the idea is, just for those who may have forgot or didn't listen to the first episode, the idea is that we're going to get ordinary men on the show to share their experience, to tell us a little bit about how they're thriving in the different aspects of their life, to give them an opportunity to share their knowledge and experience, and also just to have that accountability as well, and be honest and tell us what barriers they're facing. And I just think it's going to be really good. It's going to be relatable. There's going to be something for everyone, so I'm really excited to get the first guest on and take it from there, Sam.
Yeah, I can't wait as well. Genuinely can't wait. It's good to have someone else other than us talking for once. Get someone else's perspective on life and everything. It's going to be good. Very exciting.
And that's it's going to add another dimension, isn't it? Another layer to the podcast. Someone else's thoughts and opinions on what it is to be a great man, and how we can be better as men. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and I think it's going to be really beneficial to the listeners to get a different perspective.
Yes.
So Sam, a couple of the other things that we've got upcoming, just to whet the appetite of the brethren, the listeners, including the millions in Mongolia. We don't want to forget them. So we're upcoming in the next couple of weeks, sort of looking beyond the next episode. We've got an episode that's going to address nighttime routines, morning routines. That's going to be 2 episodes that are coming up soon. We're going to be exploring a couple of different sort of series, like mini series that are included within the podcast, and I'd be keen to get feedback of the listeners to see if this is something that they'd be interested in pursuing. But we wanted to do sort of an episode on the power of reading, and off the back of that, and again, this is only an idea at this stage, but we're considering sort of a Thrive Talkin book club series, where, we've no idea what frequency that might be yet, but we select a book to read, and we read that as a community of men, and we have an episode where we just briefly talk about it, what we're learning, what our experience has been reading it, how it's benefited us, and I think that would be a really interesting thing to do. And then looking ahead, sort of stepping away from the podcast itself, but more the community, we might be a little bit optimistic here, but next year we're perhaps thinking of a men's weekend, a bit of adventure, some camping, some honest conversations and discussions around the campfire. We'll have some guest speakers on and dedicated sort of time to listen to different speakers and have some different workshops, and just some real quality time to sort of strengthen the bond and meet in person as a community, as a movement, as we look to make men great again.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff going on in there, Tommy. I'm excited for it,
And I think we're only just scratching the surface there, Sam, with a lot of the stuff we've spoken about and the ideas for the future. But any thoughts on any of that? Anything you're looking forward to in particular, though?
Yeah, I mean, just enjoying the process, really, of the whole podcasting world. As we move forward and we get better, and we get guests.
Yeah.
We talk about different things. It's just a lot of fun, I think. Specifically, I'm looking forward to getting the various guests on. Definitely, just getting other people's insights, because we've both known each other forever. We know what each other likes and dislikes and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
getting another person in, male, female, whatever, that's going to be really interesting, and I can't wait for that specifically.
Yeah. Great stuff, Sam. It's exciting times. Let's see what the future holds and where the podcast takes us.
It certainly is. So, the next favourite part of the show, Tommy, Room 101.
What are we getting rid of?
Now, you always ask me, and I always put it back onto you, because I can never think of anything that's worth putting in. So, have you got anything this week?
There's a few things that I'd like to get rid of. First one being vapes.
Again, it's got to go. It's just got to go, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's a really difficult one, this, because I don't know how to package it so it goes into room 101, if that makes sense.
Condense. I'll tell you what I'll put in.
Go on. Why?
And it's not a thing. It's again, it's the social media side of what I said in my whinge, pretty much. I want people to stop attention seeking. If I can put that mindset of being an attention seeker in room 101, it's going in. Because we're talking about your normal average everyday people, not people who, there's people on social media who get paid for the posts and things like that. Well, we're not talking about you. We're talking about your average person who just posts absolute garbage day in, day out. Stop it off. It's gone in the bin.
Yeah.
Have you condensed yours yet?
I'm struggling,
still
to
thinking?
be honest. I know what it is. I'm just struggling to sort of communicate it.
It's unlike me.
It is unlike me. Yeah.
Get it in.
I want to. Right, I'll tell you what. I'm putting in. I'm putting in foolish pride. Pride. So
Pride.
men's foolish pride, which I think is a massive barrier to them sort of growing and developing as people. And I link it back to what I said earlier about men not being any good at talking to each other and holding each other accountable and encouraging each other to be better or calling out bad behaviour, because I think as men we have our we have our pride, which is quite often foolish, and we can't accept constructive criticism, or we can't accept being told that we've done something wrong or that we should do something differently.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm putting in. That's what I'm putting in this week, Sam. Because
it's a bit of stubbornness, right?
stubbornness, is it?
Yeah.
That's another way to sort of look at it. But basically, I'm saying that because I want men to be able to talk to each other and to call each other out and hold each other accountable, and I think that's a barrier at the moment.
Oh yeah, definitely. We spoke about that before, didn't we? Just stop focusing on things what don't really matter, I guess, and focus on the important things in life. People around you who you love, what goes in your body, what goes on your body, all that kind of thing. I get what you're saying, Tommy, and it's a good one. It's a good one. Glad it went in there.
Okay, Sam. So as we wrap up, how can the brethren get in touch?
As always, folks, thanks again for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this one, but if you do want to get in touch, and I hope you do, Instagram. I've been hypocritical again, but it's a necessary evil. Instagram, at Thrive Talkin. We're also on TikTok. I created a TikTok account. I don't know how you use it, but I'm learning. That again is Thrive Talkin, and the email address thrivetalkinpodcast@gmail.com. Please get in touch. Tell us all your stories, good and bad. Beautiful. And that's it, innit, Tommy, for this week.
That's a wrap.
It's been a lovely one. Everyone out there, you've been listening to Thrive Talkin, the Making Men Great Again podcast. Gone a bit American, but we okay. We'll see you next week. See you, brother.
Good night. God bless.